Falling in love and getting into a relationship or becoming married is not much of a big deal. Okay, maybe it is, but then having a successful marriage or relationship is the real deal breaker. This is where the work comes in. Forever is such a long time to spend in misery and pain, and so you want to be careful with who you end up spending the rest of your life with. As much as nothing is guaranteed except God, because people and circumstances can change, there are still some signs that can help you foretell your future. How will your relationship with this person be? Will it be full of peace, joy, and love? Will you find fulfillment and satisfaction with them? It all begins with the little things, your tastes, characters, habits, and general lifestyle. Love is a beautiful thing, and for a while there, you might become distracted. Yet, you do not need to be hit with a brick on the head before you realize that some things are not right with your relationship. Although nothing is guaranteed, even people with the best intentions have ugly relationships that end badly. These are some signs that your relationship or marriage with someone will be beautiful. You share the same faith. No matter what you do not ever leave God out of the equation. He has to be the foundation on which your marital relationship is built. When you share the same faith and belief with someone, you can be at rest. Even when things are not as smooth as they used to be, you both have a basis for staying together. If not for any other reason, your shared faith in God is important because it becomes the reference point in your marriage. You can always go back to check if you are working in line with God's word. People can change with time, and circumstances can cause us to develop behaviors and attitude that were not obvious initially, but God's word never changes. It is a standard. If that standard is the foundation of your relationship and marriage, you can be rest assured knowing that no matter the storms that might hit your union, you have something to come back to. Selfless love. One of the major causes of a rift in a relationship is selfishness, when either or both parties are interested in what they can get from the relationship. Love is about giving. If all that person does is take without giving in return, or are only concerned about themselves, you need to walk away. You do not have to wait till you are married before you begin to pay attention to these signs. It will be obvious in their language, their attitude, and their reaction. It starts with the little things. Do they check on you, or are you the only one doing the checkup? Are they supportive of your goals and ambitions, or do they act like it doesn't matter? If love is one-sided, it can be very frustrating, and no one wants to end up in a frustrating marriage. Your marriage will be a beautiful one when both of you are ready to contribute to each other's lives. Make sacrifices and provide the necessary support. When two people love each other selflessly, meeting the needs of the other person becomes a priority. You trust each other. Trust is the vehicle that keeps a relationship moving. With someone you trust, there is no constant looking back over your shoulder because your mind is at rest with them. Can you imagine how difficult and stressful it will be if you have to double-check everything your spouse or partner tells you just to know if they are telling the truth? Not many people out there can say boldly that they trust their spouse completely. There is still this existing doubt at the back of their minds, resulting from previous information, observation, or experience. Trusting does not only have to do with what they say or do in your presence or absence. It also involves having faith in their abilities. Can you trust this person with your life, business, children, health? Would they care for your things like their own? Would you be able to leave things in their care and be at peace knowing that they are in the safe hands? If trust is not present in your relationship, then there is no point in staying back in that relationship. It will only leave you miserable. If your love has not given you any reason to doubt them and they trust you in the same way, you might want to keep that relationship safe. Open communication. It has been said time and time again, communication is important for any relationship. It is the lifeblood that keeps it going, and it cannot be overemphasized. Communication lines must be open at all times. If communication is cut, it is as good as ending the relationship. If your marriage or relationship with that person is going to be beautiful, it means you have to be honest and open in your communication. You should be able to express yourself freely, air your opinion, discuss matters, and be honest with each other. It also means actively listening and trying to understand the other person's perspective. Someone who listens to you, understands you, and does not keep secrets from you is one you can share your life with. What is a relationship without communication? The more you communicate with each other, the greater the bond between the two of you. Even when issues present themselves, you can discuss them and settle them amicably. You are at peace with them. Peace of mind is something that cannot be traded for anything in the world. After the stress of the day, the hustling and bustling, the last thing you want to go home to is a troubled home. If you find peace being with someone, you are comfortable with them, and you do not feel unnecessarily pressured or burdened with them, that person will give you the rest that most people desire. Being at peace with someone is a sign that they are meant for you. Independent dependence. Marriage is not a yoke, and the fact that you are in a relationship does not mean you do not have control over your life anymore. While you can count on the other person for certain things, there should be a level of independence and liberty you enjoy as an individual. If this is not achieved in your marriage, the marriage becomes an unnecessary burden. You should be able to go out and watch football with your friends without feeling guilty about leaving your wife alone. As a woman, you should be able to visit your friends, go to your favorite spots, and have some time for yourself. As much as you want to spend time doing things or just being together, there should be enough space to accommodate your individual lives as well. You do not want to end up with someone that is too clingy or overly independent, as both extremes are not good for a relationship. There should be a level ground where you can both enjoy each other and give to the relationship without necessarily losing your individuality. So if your spaces as individuals are respected and your individuality is not lost in your marriage, your relationship will be a wonderful one. Shared passion and values. Besides the love you feel for each other, there should be other things that bind a couple and makes the relationship worthwhile. One of these is your passions and values in life. It makes a relationship interesting when both parties have the same passion for life. It might be love for children, a desire to fight for justice, environmental concerns. Couples that work together or have shared visions tend to bond and stick together than those that do not. Your shared values too are another point of concern. If you value honesty and integrity and he or she is indifferent about it, you might have to disagree from time to time. Or perhaps you are the type who values time and the other thinks you should take life easy. Things might not go smoothly because you begin to resent each other at some point, and that is the beginning of a broken relationship. If, on the other hand, your values, passions, and goals are in synchrony, then you can hop in for a ride. The journey might not be all smooth, but you can be sure you are not alone. You can forgive each other. Offenses cannot be ruled out in any relationship, they will definitely come up. The ability to be able to look beyond these faults and forgive each other's mistakes will tell if a relationship will last or not. If you have had disagreements in the past and could sort them out without casualty, your relationship might stand the test of time. The person should be willing to forgive easily, overlook some things, not keep grudges, and be able to compromise on some things. You should be equally ready to do the same. When this is present in a relationship, the marriage will be enjoyable. In all, having a beautiful marriage or relationship involves a lot of things apart from those listed above here. That person should be your best friend and confidant. The person should have certain qualities that are desirable in a spouse and be able to express the fruits of love. And the feelings must be reciprocated. You must also be able to express these things to have a successful relationship. When you see these signs while placing everything in God's hand, then you have an assurance of having marital bliss.